It's the Hip Hop Gamer Show. What it is, Hip Hop Gamer Show.
What do you mean when you say that games are services?
Games are services, just like Netflix, Hulu, and all this other stuff. For example, when a game comes out, that's not the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Just like Facebook. When Facebook first came out, it was an exclusive thing. Then it opened up to the public. Then they added this, then they added that, whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, games are services in terms of meaning that when a game come out next year, it'll be a different game. But even though it's the same game that first came out. So when you think of a game, you can't think of this game came out, now you're just gonna wait for the next one. Nah, because they found ways where they can make games better within the initial release. And that's what a service is all about. Just like a music streaming service or anything. It's the ability to continuously grow an initial release state of a product. That's what a service is.
When some gamers hear that, they may interpret that to mean that developers and publishers will feel free to now release unfinished games and just update them down the road with features and content that should have been there day one. Should gamers have that concern?
No. The reason why I say that is because two things, right? When a game comes out, right? It has to come out at some point. Like, for example, you know those type of people in the world that's always talking, but they never do anything. They always talk about, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do this, or I'm gonna wait till I have that. I'm gonna wait till I have that in order to put this out and do this and blah blah blah. When you're in a creative space, creativity never stops. But you gotta start from somewhere. You gotta have some sort of foundation. You gotta have some sort of base. So when a game, like for example, Mortal Kombat 10, when that came out, it had a lot of features and everything like that too, but it was a base. You know what I'm saying? When Mortal Kombat 10 first came out, Jason wasn't there, Alien wasn't there, Barachi wasn't there. They came over time. And because they came, it added more gameplay value to the game because you could learn new characters, do new fatalities, and get more excitement. You see what I'm saying? So was Mortal Kombat 10 unfinished because the other characters wasn't there? No, it was finished. It was finished in the vision that the company wanted to release it as. You see what I'm saying? And they grew upon it, which is a great thing because now we get more out of our games than we ever did back in the day. I think that's a great thing. And on top of that, what a finished product is a product that works. What I mean by that is if I turn on Street Fighter 5 and I pick a character and I can use that character and that character works and it performs great, that means the game is finished. But if I pop in Street Fighter 5 and I got screen tearing, I got glitches everywhere, when I push the button to do a kick, it doesn't activate, it doesn't work, that's something that's not finished because it's not working when I correspond and interact with the title. And I'm telling you, Mamacita, even the people that's in the chat, if you ask anybody, was there anything wrong with the core game of Street Fighter 5? What I mean by that is when you turn it on, you pick a character and you play the game. Does it work? Does it look beautiful? How does it feel? And I guarantee you, everybody that I've ever asked that question, they said, nah, the game is fine. We just wanted this. So the people are complaining because they wanted more. So if you want more, isn't that a good thing? To want more from a game? Because it must mean that it's that good that you want more. And the game isn't defined by its features, because if the gameplay sucked, you wouldn't care about arcade mode. You wouldn't care. All the shit that people talk about right now, Mamacita, they would not care about if the actual game was bad. Think about it like this. If you brought a game and the game sucked, but it had great features, why would you play a game with good features if the game itself is bad? The features is meaningless. That's just icing on the cake. The cake got to be good, though.
Let's change the conversation a little bit.
Okay. I'm loving this, though, by the way. I love your questions.
Well, thank you. We expect Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo to aggressively sell their consoles and make smart decisions to corner the market as best they can. However, there are those that advocate an actual war between the console giants, and some would say the war is over. Sony won. We can all go home now. What's your position with this train of thought?
Well, Sony did win because Phil Spencer already said that we're just focused on the Xbox brand and rebuilding it to where it need to be because like Sony they're just far ahead. Like Phil Spencer already like admitted that. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a console war. That's just fun. That's fun. Competition, and competition brings the best out of all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why. I mean, it's the reason why Microsoft went after Tomb Raider so they could have something to go against Uncharted because they didn't have an exclusive title to do that with. So I think it's fun, like to see competition. It's the same thing in hip hop. We love to see competition, but at the end of the day, I don't hate you. Like you know what I'm saying? The people be taking it too far, but yeah, the console war is over simply because the white flag has been waved. You know what I'm saying? I feel that the best thing that happened to Sony was them losing to Xbox 360 in America. Now, now to clarify, they beat Xbox 360 overall in terms of globally in the PS3 and 360 era. But in America, 360 beat PS3, and that right there was a major blow to Sony. You know what I'm saying? And in terms of legacy and representation and stuff like that, so they learned a lot, and I feel that Xbox right now they're learning a lot, like how PS3 learned last generation. And so I'm excited to see the next thing that Xbox does. I'm happy to see Sony learn their lesson, and Nintendo's obviously hopefully they learned their lesson with the Wii U as well, and we'll see what the NX is about. But I think competition is healthy. I think the console war is fun to have, but ever since Phil Spencer made that statement and just looking at what's going on and also what's coming, Sony got this. Sony got this. I mean, by far. It's not even a conversation at this point. Like Sony won.
I've checked your Twitter feed, and you are often accused of being a Sony loyalist or even fanboy.
Yeah, I
How do
get
you
that.
respond to that?
Oh man, I get that a lot, Mamacita. Oh my God. So here's the thing, right? People, all right, last generation, right? Um, I played I think the first 2 3 years I was playing PS3 as my dominant console. I always have a dominant console and a secondary console, like you know what I'm saying. So PS3 was my dominant console, right? But then when Madden 2008 came out, and I played it on PS3, then I played it on 360. I was like, okay, I'm getting every game on 360 now, like in terms of multiplats. Like, and the only games I'm getting on PlayStation is the exclusives. Like, there's no fanboy anything dealing with me. Like I just want the best. Period. Last generation, when it came to multiplats, 360 was the best, and it was so evident that I went out and I brought over 40 games and returned a lot of my PS3 multiplats too. Like you know what I'm saying? But I went out and got 40 something games on Xbox 360 ever since, excuse me, since I discovered that their multiplats was that much better because they were. So my thing is fanboy and all this other stuff that don't work with me. I play games, I got everything, I own everything. That's why I'm able to speak about everything. Now in this generation, right now with PS4 is my dominant system, and Xbox One is I go to that one for the exclusives. The reason why I talk about PlayStation more is because honestly they just have more to talk about, and they're the better system. Like they got features in their system that Xbox One just don't got that are deal breakers for me. For example, PlayStation 4 got share play. And anybody that's in the chat, share play is not the same as game sharing. Okay, it's not the same because PlayStation 4 you could game share to just like with Xbox One. It's not the same. What I'm trying to explain to you is that right now, Street Fighter 5, right? If you don't own Street Fighter 5 Mamacita, but you wanted to play it, I could and you're on my friends list, I could share my game with you and play with you, or I could virtually give you my controller and you could play at your house. You could play my system, my game from your house where you're located at. Free. It does no download, no nothing, just stream to it. That right there is crazy. And I don't mean no demo, the full game for as long as you want. That is the most insane feature I've ever like encountered on a system before. Sony has that, Xbox don't. Like I could go on and on and on. And then
Are
also, yeah, sorry,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Are there any features on the Xbox One that you prefer? or in comparison to PlayStation 4?
I love the fact that Xbox One got a lot more apps than the PlayStation 4 does. Like, I really love, like, the apps on Xbox One is crazy. They work great, and I wish PlayStation 4 had a lot of those apps too. But the thing is, even without those apps, like PlayStation 4, first off, PlayStation 4 is the first gaming system to have a game streaming service. Like right now, I got access to over 400 video games on PS3 via PlayStation Now. That is insane to me. Like, that's crazy. A lot of games that I never even got a chance to play on my PS3, I can play now. And it's crazy to me. So, even with those apps that Xbox got and stuff like that, they're great, but they're apps. At the end of the day, at the core, these are gaming platforms. And when it comes to gaming, Sony, they're the better system when it comes to power. They're the better system when it comes to multiplats. They got the best exclusives. They got the best performing titles. They got the best features, and they doing things that's never been done. Nah, man, Sony all the way. Like, it's easy. Like, it's not even a fan, but everything I'm saying is a fact. You don't believe me? Like, everything I said is there. Like,
Will we ever see an excited hip hop gamer at an Xbox E3 event with his fist pumping in the air?
that's already happened. Like, first of all, let me explain something to.
I don't know if you know what I'm referring to. That the video of you jump up. I've seen the. I think it was different PlayStation events where you pumping your fist in the air.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we'll put it like this. Well, Sony announced Final Fantasy VII remake at their joint. They had Shenmue 3 at their joint. They had what's the name? Oh my god. Oh, I can't think of the game right now. Not it's from the same people that made Ico. Oh my, the last story. No, the last Guardian. Yeah, the last Guardian. I mean, come on, you kidding me? Of course you don't get that type of reaction out of me when you seeing stuff like that. And then on top of that, they the year before when Jack Tritton was up there, they talked about they put the price tag out there and that they wasn't going to have the online only 24-hour check-in that Xbox was talking about. Like, you kidding me? Like, that stuff was crazy. Now, Microsoft on the other hand, when they first showed Titanfall, I was the one saying, yo, get Titanfall, crazy, this and that. I'm always hyped. Always hyped. When I was the one going crazy over the Elite controller, because that controller is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one that's telling people that how the hell you did not buy an Xbox One on day one to play Rise. Rise is the first game I ended on Xbox One. Ori and the Blind Forest. What, you crazy? They got crazy games. I go crazy over all of that. It's just that Sony got more stuff than Xbox do, so you see me go crazy over Sony more. That's all it really is.
Okay. Let's talk about virtual reality for just a moment.
Yes.
We all know it's primed to be the next big thing to hit video gaming, or possibly one of the biggest blunders to ever hit in history. Are you looking forward to this new video gaming experience? And if so, which version are you most interested?
Oh wow, PlayStation VR, man. PlayStation VR. Yo, I was on Fox 5 News, right? And I was playing The Kitchen, and they caught clips of me playing The Kitchen. Yo, Mamacita, real talk. Yo, this game scared me so much that it gave me goosebumps to my nipples. My nipples was crazy, crazy, crazy hard. I was like, yo, I was so scared. I was so scared. It was like a scene out of Saw. You ever seen that movie, The Ring, where the girl is climbing out the TV? Yo, it was so crazy. Like, because in the actual virtual reality joint, you started hearing these sounds. This guy was trying to like cut you out of because you was tied up, and then this big giant girl with hair over her face got big. You hear the sound, then she looks up. Yo, no, it was because you couldn't go nowhere, you couldn't escape. Like, when you put the virtual reality headset on, you are in that world. No matter where you go, where you look, no, it's overwhelming, man. It's one of those situations where everybody that tries it, I truly believe this. I believe everybody that tries it will want it. And I feel out the gate, I think 30% of people that try it will buy it. That don't know anything about it, but just try it for the first time. I think 30% of that type of crowd will buy it. The hardcore gamers, I would say 60% of the hardcore gamers will go out and buy it out the gate. The extremists, like myself, is getting it day one. And that's just what it is.
Sony Computer Entertainment, Masayasu Ito said to Polygon, and I quote, "If you just talk about the high-end quality, yes, I would admit that Oculus may have better VR. However, it requires a very expensive and very fast PC. The biggest advantage for Sony is our headset works with the PlayStation 4. It's for everyday use, so it has to be affordable. This is not for the person who uses a high-end PC. It's for the mass market," end quote. Seems pretty smart for Sony to go after that market, doesn't it?